For the second consecutive week, we are heading into the weekend, anticipating the release of a brand new Pedro Pascal movie. I know, right? We haven't seen enough of this guy already, and quite frankly, the best is yet to come, apparently, according to a bunch of the shills that are out there. Fantastic Four is the greatest thing since the last greatest thing. It's the best Marvel movie since Endgame. Oh my god, Pedro Pascal obviously shines. Galactus, something, bro. I don't care at this point in time. It's hilarious just how bad the other two big July releases have been. If anybody even remembers Jurassic World Rebirth, it hasn't even been that long at this point in time, but already that has faded from so many people's memories, even though it is an abominable film with a stupid plot and non-existent characters and some of the most contrived nonsense. All I need to do is say Snickers wrapper, and people have already mentally checked out on that one. And then a couple of weeks ago, well, we had Superman that has come out, and well, at least the best thing you can say about that is it's doing decently domestically, and it's memorable for all the wrong reasons. But hey, we're going to continue to get the DCU. James Gunn is going to be able to, realize his vision. It's just going to be hilarious when we get to the end of the box office run for Superman, and it's looking like it's going to be neck and neck with Man of Steel. And raw numbers, not even adjusting for inflation, so that's not exactly a great sign, but that's all right. Warner Brothers has already rationalized that away by saying it's all right if we lose money on this. So it's all about cultivating good vibes, and it's like, okay, cool. I guess that's what's led to Disney to go whole hog on Pedro Pascal, making him the face of Marvel alongside Star Wars. Hilarious because most of the time, he's not even on set for The Mandalorian. He was not at all for season 3 because, well, the stupid Din Djarin didn't even take off his goddamn helmet, and Pedro couldn't even sound bothered with some of the voice lines that he phoned in for that travesty. In the grand scheme of things, for as many stupid things that happened in season 3, nothing was quite as dumb as what happened in season 2 in its penultimate episode, where in order to get the schematics or the location of Moff Gideon's ship, I think that's what it was. It's something in regards to Moff Gideon's ship. It's been a minute since I've rewatched that. Mando had to take his helmet off because he had a face. I can't believe they actually wrote that. I know it's a little bit more complex than that. In order to access the terminal, you need to have a face that isn't wanted by the Empire. Other than that, like if they don't know you, and as long as you have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, you're all good to go. You can access highly classified documents. It's the dumbest shit possible. But hey, Mandalorian season 3, that was the only time that we seen a downturn in quality for that stupid show, right? Yeah, exactly. That's alright, because Oberyn Martell was cool like a decade ago, so that's why Pedro Pascal can continue to have a career. Is that what we're going with at this point in time? Because he's not a movie star. Because, yeah, his most recent outing, Eddington, kind of follows on with The Materialist that came out right at the end of June or something like that. That flopped. Eddington, $625,000 in its opening weekend. It flopped. Do audiences have Pedro fatigue? I don't really think so, because I kind of still think at this point in time, this is still like an online criticism sphere take, where people, just because they're so immersed in all of the content slop from all of these big studios, they're immersed in all of the social media interviews and all of the access media interviews over the top of it that have highlighted Pedro Pascal. I would just say that, like, trying to take a step back from this and just really assessing the landscape as to what we're heading into with the Fantastic Four coming into the box office, I think most people are just looking forward to, if they're looking forward to this movie at all, they're just going, hey, new Marvel movie, and oh, Fantastic Four. I remember that from the early 2000s. It's like, oh, that could be cool. They're doing it again. Oh, they're going to be in the MCU. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be like whatever. Most people, they're probably going in that direction, because everybody's already kind of forgot Gladiator 2 and that Pedro Pascal was in that. But outside of that, most of his performances have been bit roles on TV series that nobody really cares about. And yeah, in regards to Mando, nobody's seen his face since 2021 in that stupid show. And a bunch of people probably also forgot that he was in, Book of Boba Fett as well, but I digress. If anybody is specifically going to see Fantastic Four because of Pedro, well, it's probably because of lingering memories from the Last of Us TV show, but potentially some of that fan base could end up being bifurcated because of season 2, and so trepidation looms large over there. But no, I don't think that. I think the hype around Pedro Pascal is purely manufactured, and people just generally don't like his overtly political takes on the interview circuit. So it's kind of this self-perpetuating Pedro Pascal fatigue. And as somebody who follows all of this stuff reasonably closely, yeah, whenever I see him pop up, I know that I'm just going to be rolling my eyes throughout whatever clip is being provided. But in general, is he going to talk me out of the theater if I was to go and see a movie? Probably not, because he is a decent actor. Like, he's not great. He's not as great as a lot of people make him out to be, but he's fine. Like, he's not going to detract from a project. It's just if you involve a bunch of the meta, and as I've said before, you know, if I have to only watch content from people that agree with me ideologically, I would be very bored and not really watching anything outside of like the 80s at this point, which isn't necessarily far off, because I realistically only watch stuff from the late 90s, early 2000s, and play games and listen to bands that were formed in about that same time. But we'll see what happens, okay? Because now we're starting to get the early reviews for Fantastic Four, and I know a lot of people have seen it. I think that there was a fan screening, or there was an early preview night on Monday, so potentially there could be some early reactions that are out there. And one person who got, because there was I think a fan screening, like 30 minutes of clips from the first part and the middle chapter of Fantastic Four that went down over the past weekend or last week sometime, and it was in Brazil. Okay, so very, very strange, okay, that you would go ahead and do that. But yeah, a lot of the social media reaction was based on that, and yeah, there's so many people overreacting to what is very likely to be mediocre at best and horrifically awful at worst. Because I said in the Superman movie or video that came out earlier today that there's a good chance that we have a three-headed beast with this July release schedule, okay, where you're going to have the biggest box office go to Jurassic World Rebirth, okay, that makes sense. The biggest domestic box office goes to Superman, and the biggest opening weekend goes to the Fantastic Four, because there's a lot of projections that are out there, and well, depending on who you're looking at, Box Office Pro has it around somewhere, you know, between 100 and 115, I think, so that would have it behind Superman. And depending on how you want to categorize the 3-day weekend for Jurassic World, ahead of that, so that's something. And then you have other outlets, other access media outlets that are saying the upper echelon for Fantastic Four is $130 million. I have no idea, man. But by the end of the week, yeah, we will definitely be getting our final projections, and I'll be quite interested on that because, again, I don't see any hype around this movie. Like, even though it has the open runway this weekend, I don't see it at this point in time. Even with all of the shills coming out and saying that Fantastic Four is a masterpiece, the visual effects and the score are a huge standout. Galactus is huge in IMAX. Well, wouldn't everything be huge in IMAX? It's emotional and it gives you hope. Okay, it beats you off and doesn't stop. Wait, what? Okay, stay until the end credits. Yeah, because Dr. Doom turns up and then he steals Franklin Richards from Sue Storm. Oops, spoilers. But not too dissimilar to the release of Superman. Now that we're heading in with the release of Fantastic Four, studio head for Marvel, Kevin Feige, has sat down with a couple of the trades, but the big one was over at Variety, where he's really laying out the plans about what a Phase 6 and forward looks like for Marvel, what exactly is going on behind the scenes, and what exactly are we looking at this very moment, okay? How is Fantastic Four going to set the tone for what you guys are going to be doing moving forward? And well, this is a big old long boy. This is a huge, sprawling article. And well, we'll just grab some of the highlights. Kevin Feige on Marvel Studios' future, focusing on lower budgets, sure. Less TV, yeah, I bet. Was this like the 19th time that you've come out and said, no, we're going to focus on quality, not quantity, whatever, and then just trot out the exact same strategy? Because no, we can't oversaturate the market, so we're just going to do 3 movies, 2 TV shows, and an animated project a year. Oh, okay, cool. So what were you doing before? 3 movies, 2 television shows, and an animated project. Oh, okay, cool. But now you're focusing on quality, not quantity. Yes, that's right. Okay, cool. So the check's in the mail. Fantastic strategy for Marvel. Yes, and more Robert Downey Jr. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, more nostalgia baiting because, yeah, at this point in time, why hire anybody that can write a coherent script? Why develop and flesh out like just about 100 years worth of characters? No, you can just jangle some keys. Good stuff. Look at Superman. Nope, wait, what? Okay, it's clearly not superhero fatigue. Right. Yeah, because look at Superman, okay? The most iconic superhero of all time. He's done well domestically. Just, I could also run back this argument by saying, hey, take a look at Captain Black Falcon America, man. That thing flopped. Take a look at the Thunderbolts. That flopped as well. It's clearly not superhero fatigue. Sure thing there, Kevin. It is. Superman's going to go on, okay, adjust for inflation or not. It's not going to be the best performing Superman movie in history. Not even close. It's going to be at best somewhere middle of the pack, and at worst, probably doing better than Returns and a bunch of the other Christopher Reeve sequels. But other than that, it's not going to get anywhere close to 78, and it's probably still going to be behind Man of Steel, which, oh boy, James Gunn, hopefully you got a lot of kindness that you can go ahead and rest your head on at night, because those Snyder bots, they ain't stopping anytime soon. Hopefully you have enough monkeys in intergalactional pocket dimensions that'll just go ahead and fight all your battles online for you. Anyways, let's get to some of these highlights. There will be a lot less TV, right, because didn't we just hear that Vision Quest that just wrapped up? You've got Wonder Man coming out in December. Who's Wonder Man? Yeah, it'll be a wonder if anybody knows or remembers or cares. It's so funny, right? Because that's the next thing that is coming out after Fantastic Four. Oh no, I'm sorry, Eyes of Wakanda, because we're focusing on quality and not quantity. So you're going to have your animated fare, and then you're going to have, what would that be? Oh, the third television show that is released this year, because you had Daredevil Born Again, then you had Ironheart. Yes, you still had Ironheart at the end of the day, and then you had Wonder Man at the end of the year. That doesn't even have a firm release date, just December at some time. How are you going to release it? I don't know, in batches, in bunches, weekly? How many episodes are there? Well, we're still probably cobbling and editing it together, but no, we're focusing on quality. And just before that, then we're going to have our one animated show, right? And how many movies have released this year? Oh, right, 3. Anyways, by way of example, Feige cited Marvel TV shows, the 2010s, like Daredevil, you didn't help, or you didn't do. Jessica Jones, you didn't do, on Netflix, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter on ABC. Again, things that you didn't have any direct involvement with, which were all, produced by a separate, now defunct division of Marvel Entertainment, and all of which, like the first, well, actually, all of the seasons of Daredevil on Netflix are held in high regard for very good reasons, but Jessica Jones was not great. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think that was of middling quality, and Agent Carter, I haven't really heard fuck all about that, if we're going to be completely honest, and they're still better than whatever the fuck you're producing. Yeah, I think allowing a TV show to be a TV show is what we're returning to. Bro, everything that you've put out, and I can't even list all of the MCU projects that have come out post-2021, starting with WandaVision and recently, yes, wrapping up with Ironheart, returning to TV shows and how they are good. Yes, allowing a TV show, not trying to make them what they are, using that storytelling medium in order to tell a coherent story. It's like, you are incapable of doing that. None of the shows that you have put out have actually been structured like television shows. They're just sequential plot beats, and then you just have the one token bottle episode thrown in midway through a 7 or 9 episode season. It's so stupid. And just showing the interconnectedness of these new TV shows, as if the events of the Thunderbolts, which yes took place in New York City, and where most of the population of Manhattan was enveloped in an inky black shroud of depressive nothingness, would affect season 2 of of New York City-based Disney Plus series Daredevil Born Again. Feige had a simple answer: no. Oh, okay, cool, because we're telling a different story over there. But don't worry, guys, because it's still a part of the MCU. And what does that stand for again? Marvel Connected Unless We Don't Really Care About It universe. Oh, okay, cool. At the same time, the line between film and TV is not ironclad. Right, because we're going to have a different, distinct, and separate entity making the television shows. But if we want to cross over whenever we want, that's totally fine. Yes, John Bernthal will play his Daredevil Born Again character, the Punisher, in PG-13 Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is a Sony joint. Okay, we have a lot of great actors playing great characters. Yeah, that's unfortunate because they're great actors and they were playing, especially in the case of the Punisher, at one point in time playing a great character, but now they're forced to say some of the dumbest shit possible. I think it would be fun to see them on multiple places. And yeah, I guess this was from another interview from another part of a post that I seen, but yeah, Frank Castle's going to get nerfed even more than he was in Daredevil Born Again, and yeah, it's going to be PG-13 Punisher and Spider-Man Brand New Day. Can't wait for that one. Diversity still matters, but don't expect to see totally not Spider-Man. Since the massive success of 2018's Black Panther, right, where Marvel solved racism, Marvel has made a concerted effort to produce projects centered around women, people of color, and LGBTQ characters. It's so funny how we're going to end up at the end of this interview. It's like, yeah, since 2018, we had focused on a lot of black people and women, and how well has that worked out for you? Yeah, we're doing a bunch of timeline resets post-Secret Wars. Fucking lol. Those titles include Captain Marvel, that made over $1 billion. So did Black Panther. Okay, Black Widow. a movie that was such a success, your lead actress sued the company. Shang-Chi, yeah, how's that Shang-Chi 2 coming along? Eternals, the Marvels, $201 million at the box office. Captain America Brave New World, $400 million. WandaVision, boy, those first 3 episodes sure were fun, right? Ms. Marvel, what? She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, bruh, Secret Invasion. It was so nice how they fleshed out the character of Nick Fury, gave him his own TV show to make him a cuck, rob him of all of his accomplishments, and give him a wife in order to make him a bad husband. Echo, nobody talks about it, haven't heard from it in a minute, and Agatha All Along. Bro, nobody even remembers that shit even to just fucking dunk on it, so stop it. Yeah, focus on all of that stuff. How well has that worked out for you? Pressed on this question, yes, talking about the upcoming slate of Marvel projects and how it looks. Wow, distinctly focused on tentpole characters. Where's all your bitches and minorities? Where are they at? Oh, right. Fantastic Four is going to be led by a woman. Oh, great, cool, and it's going to bomb at the box office too. Fantastic. Pressed on this question, Feige appeared unconcerned. Marvel represents the world outside your window. Yes, that's the slug line for the company. We get it. I've always said it. Before DEI and woke became a thing, and after DEI and woke became a thing, are we after? I don't think so. He singled out Ms. Marvel and the Marvel star Iman Vellani as one of the greatest bits of casting we've ever done. I can't wait to see her somewhere. Yeah, we don't really have a plan for her, but boy, she was such great casting, and because in the stupid fucking comic books, because Miles Morales continues to fucking flame out as the replacement Spider-Man. He also tried to make that version of Ms. Marvel the replacement Spider-Man as well. Yeah, make that one make sense. And now they're trying to make her the leader of the X-Men. Fucking kill me if that ends up being the case. But yes, the Marvel method is here to stay. Oh, great, because it's worked out so well for you ever since you've taken over the studio. Because you remember, Kevin Feige, like, he wasn't in control of the stuff that you actually fondly remember about the MCU. He came in and started to take over post-Civil War, which is funny in the meta of it. But yes, after Captain America Civil War, yeah, he was in charge for, Phase 3 forward, and yeah, there's a lot of fond memories for people for Phase 3, but that's really where the cracks started to form. For every Infinity War, you had a Captain Marvel, and you had an Ant-Man and Wasp in Quantumania. I'm sorry, not Quantumania, that comes in, Phase 5, but you also had Black Panther at that point in time. All of those are really great, very successful movies, all of them very successful, over $1 billion, right? But outside of Infinity War, did any of them stand up to scrutiny? And even if you take a closer look at Infinity War, it's like, oh, what did you end up setting up? Oh yeah, one of the most convoluted and disappointing films of all time. But hey, Black Widow got a good send-off. And he had to bring her back for her own standalone movie that, again, Scarlett Johansson wants nothing to do with Marvel anymore. But I digress. Talking about bringing down the budgets, Feige said Marvel executives even met with the teams behind 2023 sci-fi epic creator. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sci-fi epic The Creator, a bad film that bombed. Yes, which director Gareth Edwards, what did he just do? All right, the Jurassic World movie, which... It's so wild, right? Like, we just had a Jurassic World movie that A, nobody talks about, and B, nobody really singled out as having very good CGI, which, yeah, back in 93 when the original came out, people still point to that Brachiosaurus scene and wonder how the fuck they managed to do that all the way back in the cut. But yeah, Gareth Edwards made The Creator for $80 million, and I think that's about as much as it made at the box office. So yeah, oh no, don't worry guys, because Disney doesn't have to overly rely on the volume anymore. Now I can just do all of that stereotypical shitty CGI, and then they'll just tell you that it looks good, and all the shills on social media will back that up, so it'll all be fine. And then also, oh yeah, the MCU's future won't be in Hollywood. Yeah, because all of your bad practices have ended up costing you guys way too much to film things on home court, so now you have to go abroad in order to take advantage of all of these tax incentives. So yeah, you're still going to continue to spend all of this money, but it looks better on the tax receipts that only a certain amount ends up being taxable. So shut up and find a way to blame Trump. Hilarious. But yes, here's where it gets interesting. Kang is kaput, of course, but what about Charlize Theron and the Eternals, right? Because Miss complains about Hollywood not giving opportunities to to females in action movies. Why aren't you listening to her? Why aren't you bringing her in? In March of 2023, a month after Jonathan Majors played the arch-villain Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the actor was arrested for assault and harassment of his then-girlfriend Grace Jabari. Kang, had been touted as the Thanos of the multiverse saga. Yeah, and even headlined by his own film Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, which would set up Secret Wars. But the day Majors was convicted of 2 misdemeanor counts of harassment and assault, which ended up being dropped afterwards, because if you take a look at the footage that's out there, who's the one who's actually harassing the other one? But I've gone over that time and time again, and it doesn't really much matter, because at the end of the day, Jonathan Majors has a clear reputation in the eyes of the court of the law. But anyways, Marvel announced that it was parting ways with the actor the following July. Yes, they came out of San Diego Comic-Con. Robert Downey Jr. announced that, oh my god, he's going to be Doctor Doom. This is going to be great. Yay. And yeah, Kang Dynasty would now be Avengers Doomsday. But on Friday, Feige revealed that the studio had grown wary of Kang's heft as a character before Quantumania hit theaters. I got to press the big old fucking doubt button on that one. Because remember, Kang, okay, cool. Yeah, he's the big bad guy at Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania. Okay, and then when was he set up? All right, before that in Loki. And then also, yeah, he was going to be returning with this Council of Kangs, and he was being set up for at the end, because that was the post-credit scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Loki season 2, you still wanted to go forward with Kang. Shut your mouth. We started to realize that Kang wasn't big enough, wasn't Thanos, and that there was only one character that could be, and he was in the comics for decades and decades. Oh, shut up. We started talking about Doctor Doom even before we officially pivoted from Kang. In fact, I had started talking with Robert about the audacious idea before Ant-Man 3 even came out. So at the same time that you were praising Jonathan Majors for his performance, when he was getting all of those shill accolades about how, oh my god, Kang and Jonathan Majors, oh my god, it just steals the show in Ant-Man 3, you were already on to talks about replacing him. Stop it. Stop it. But yes, other A-list MCU cameos like Charlize Theron's Clea. Yeah, not Brett Goldstein's Hercules. Oh, okay. We've got Jewish Hercules, oy vey. Harry Styles' Star Fox. You remember Star Fox. You remember. He was in the end credit scene for the Eternals. He could be coming back. And Sacha Baron Cohen's, yes, Mephisto. Do you want to see them again? Feige asked playfully. No, I don't want to see any of your shit anymore. It's all fucking terrible. But yes, Feige is watching and what his future looks like. Yeah, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And yeah, he's watching. Yeah, he's definitely watching, guys. But is he listening? And is he going to be making substantive changes to the MCU? We're heading into a weekend where we're going to be getting another girl boss story with Sue Storm taking over the Fantastic Four. We're going to be getting more key jangles with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom coming through. You're going to be able to see Galactus, who ends up getting cucked out by the female Silver Surfer. Do you think Marvel is changing, or do you think that this is just another shill media hype piece to get you excited into the theaters for the first weekend, and then once everybody figures out that this is just the same type of fucking generic slop, they can be on to the next project, and then by that time they just hope that they can go ahead and churn out that hype cycle one more time, because hey guys, look at this. Ooh, Avengers. You haven't seen Avengers since the last time you've seen Avengers. You gotta come see it, because everybody's in this one, and eventually they're gonna spend all of their cards and they're gonna be left with nothing but a bunch of debt and corpses down in the overworked CGI and VFX dungeons. Trash movies with bad scripts, but the SEALs will continue to fucking clap at this shit and lap up all this nonsense. So fantastic. 4 is the beginning, because, oh yeah, Marvel plans to recast the X-Men and eventually Tony Stark after, Avengers Secret Wars, but the reboot is a scary word, says Kevin Feige, because talking about Secret Wars, we're utilizing that story not just to round out the stories that we've been telling post-Endgame, just as importantly, you can look at the Secret Wars comics, where they take you. It is very, very much sets up the future. Endgame literally is about ending. Secret Wars is about beginning. So yeah, we're just going to come in. We're going to introduce you to everybody that you know and love to get you into the theater for the first couple of weeks, kill them off, and then, oh yeah, set up our next shit that we failed to start at the beginning of phase 4. But hey, trust this, guys, phase 7 is going to be peak fucking fire. We're going to be so goddamn back, and nobody's going to care. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.